Unit 2, Lesson 2, Part 3, Example 6. So I hope you've worked your way kind of up to this problem, because this problem is really going to encompass everything that we've talked about so far in Unit 2. So in this problem, we're asked to convert from 2.4 inches per second, and we want to convert that to centimeters. It's inches squared per second, which changes things a little bit. And we're asked to end with centimeters squared per minute. So let's focus on the top first. Now this is a US measurement, measuring length. Centimeters is a metric measurement, measuring length. So that means we're going to need a bridge. So let's go to our conversion factor bridges. Well, this is nice. We do have a bridge that goes from inches to centimeters. So I don't know if you remember, back in Lesson 1, we built new conversion factors based on the ones we had. And we're going to need to do this time, because what we're given, these units are just inches and centimeters. What we're working with are inches squared and centimeters squared. So we're going to have to square this conversion factor, which will build a new one, which will allow us to use it in our path. So let's go back to our notes. So we can go right from inches squared to centimeters squared if we build a new conversion factor by squaring the one we have. In the bottom, we're going to go, sorry guys, I don't know why this is jumping around on me. Do we know how many seconds are in a minute? Yeah, so we can go straight from there. So let's look at this new conversion factor. We know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. But since these units are not just inches and centimeters, they're inches squared and centimeters squared, we're going to have to square both sides so that our conversion factor will have the squares on them as well. All right, so get your calculators out. When you square the left-hand side, 1 times 1 is still 1, but now we have inches times inches, which would be inches squared. The right-hand side, though, will no longer be 2.54. In your calculator, if you do 2.54 and raise it to the second power, or 2.54 times itself, 2.54, you should get 6.4516. And you do not want to round this conversion factor. Remember, these are approximate as they are. So we do not want to round them because it will cause them to be even less accurate. So do not round when you square it. Use the whole thing, even though it's long. So this is our new conversion factor that we're going to use in our string, the one that we built. So we have 1 squared inch is equal to 6.4516 squared centimeters. That's one of our conversion factors. The other one has to relate seconds to minutes. So we can convert the bottom, and there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So now we're ready for our string. So we'll start with our given 2.4 inches squared. And since this is a compound unit, we're going to put the other units in the bottom. And remember, if it just says second, it's understood to be 1 second. All right. So the next conversion factor, if we're focusing on the top, is going to be this one. And remember those alternating units. So since we have inches squared in the top, we need inches squared in the bottom. So we have 1 inch squared, and that's equal to 6.4516 centimeters squared. So the inches will cancel, squared inches will be at centimeters squared, which is what we needed. There it goes jumping around on me again, sorry. So now we're ready to focus on the bottom. We have seconds. We need to go to minutes. So that's when we use this conversion factor. And since seconds are down here, we want the seconds up top. So it's 60 seconds and 1 minute on the bottom. So the seconds will cancel. We'll be left with minutes on the bottom, which is what we wanted here. All right, so we're finally ready to pick up our calculators again to do the math. In the top, you're going to do 2.4 times 6.4516 times 60. And in the denominator, it's just 1 times 1 times 1. So in the calculator, you're going to multiply these three values together. You should get 929.0304. We are asked to round to the nearest tenth this time. That's 1 decimal place. The number in the tenths is a 0. And if we look next door, that number is not 5 or bigger. So because we were asked to give our answer to the nearest tenth, even though it's a 0, we want to include it. And then our units will be centimeters squared per minute. And that's your final answer. So practice with this, practice in Mom, and on Friday, we're going to work on a worksheet to help us with these conversions.